All right, man. So the first live stream is a sick live stream was we just getting drunk, we just getting fucked up, we're getting wasted. Uh, it might, you never know. And just speaking as a Polynesian from New Zealand, speaking out to the foundational Black Americans, just to speak on that topic on its own, foundational Black Americans have been very influential in our lives as Polynesians down here in New Zealand, and just to pay a lot of respect to them because when we were raised there, we didn't know about the music we were listening to. We didn't know about the history where the music came from. And where the music came from, it came from a lot of struggle. We didn't really know about the struggle, but now that we're learning about it, and now with listening to things like Tariq Nasheed, when you listen to Tariq Nasheed, listening to a lot of real things that we didn't know about. So now we're learning about that things now. We're starting to see that people like Tariq Nasheed are talking a lot of truth and a lot of teachings that we missed out on while we listen to the music and the culture of foundational Black Americans, because foundational Black Americans are culture. A lot of people around the globe try to take the culture away from them and try to say that they had 50-50 do with the culture, but they didn't because they are talking shit. They fled, they ran away, and how can you run away from a place and still talk about someone else when you ran and you fled? The foundational Black Americans didn't flee. What foundational Black Americans did is that they created culture uh, that the whole world gravitates to. So when people say that foundational Black Americans haven't got a culture, that's a whole goddamn lie, because the whole world flocks to it. And when they say that people come from overseas and disrespect foundational Black Americans, that's true, because they came there on the premises of a better life. But the country was already built by foundational Black Americans. And so now they get to reap the benefits of the whole economic system that was built by foundational Black Americans. And there's a lot of people that try to lie about that. So this is the truth. The foundational Black Americans have built a whole country. They have built a whole culture. Everybody gravitates to their culture. And the people that came afterwards, they're trying to reap the benefits of what foundational Black Americans have really built. So they can benefit from that and send money back to their countries while their countries look like shit, just to put it bluntly. And then they come back reaping the benefits while living in America, and then they try to have the audacity to call foundational Black Americans lazy while they reap the benefits of the economic system that was built by foundational Black Americans, because the system of America was built off of slavery. You can look at the first things that was sold on Wall Street, which was human beings, was Black human beings. They built all this wealth over hundreds of years. Everybody can come as immigrants. So you got white people that came after, and now they're able to become part of their system because now they can be classified as white. So no matter if they were Italian, Irish, all them people came afterwards. of the economic system that was already built by foundational Black Americans. They want to try and talk about that like it doesn't exist, but it existed. That's why you came there. That's why you went there. That's why everybody immigrated to America, because the system was already built. Now they have a system of whiteness. So everybody that can claim to be white can be absorbed into the system. Where was it built from? Wall Street. What was the first commodity to be sold on Wall Street was human beings, Black human beings. So it's so evident on how it was created. A lot of people think that us Polynesians don't know what the real is, but the real is that the whole economic system of America was built on slavery. Indentured, indentured servants was not slavery because you were absorbed into the white society. So if no matter which European society you were from, you were absorbed into it. So you reap the benefits from it. Everybody else that wasn't considered white was excluded from the society. A lot of the talking points that people come with, a lot of the talking points that people come with are white supremacist talking points. Black people are lazy. How can they be lazy when they built a whole country? You can go back in history, you can see black people building individual cities in America with nothing. They built America. It's the truth. And this is something we have to learn. This is something we have to teach young ones that come into life to know and to learn about different things. We can get fucked up. We can listen to the music. We can get fucked up listening to music. But we got to absorb where it came from. We got to know where it came from. Because now the music is so degenerate, you can never know where it came from. But if you look back to where it came from, to where it originated from, a lot of wealth was created way back then. In foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slavery, was all this stuff was created from them. So I'm not talking to anybody else. I'm talking to my Polynesian people. You need to understand where it came from. Now, all my Polynesian people used to listen to Motown, Barry Gordy, and all their music. Yeah, that comes from a certain place. Michael Jackson is the greatest artist of all time. He's a foundational Black American. That spirit, that culture, not culture, but culture, the culture. It comes from a certain place. And we have to understand where the music comes from. Not only see the music when it comes on YouTube, but to actually realize where it actually comes from and the people that brought it to our ears when we hear it. Because when you think about culture, it's not only food. Because when you think about foundational Black Americans, you can see a lot of people imitate it, just like us. We imitate it, but now we need to grab it and bring it towards us and find out where it came from. Because if it didn't come from here, it didn't come from there, it came from a certain place. And now we have to understand where it came from. It came from foundational Black Americans. A lot of music that they made was through oppression. was through depression. It was through oppression of another people. Excuse me, I'm a little bit drunk, a little bit drunk, but I'm just talking about what people told me about as a Polynesian, what the other Polynesians told me about. So I'm gonna be different from the other ones because they don't know where it came from. So I'm gonna say where it came from because when they came, when hold when we see that type of music, we can gravitate towards it. We need to know the origins of where it came from, because now we have to pay respect and pay homage to that. Because there's no use of just dancing around, listening to the music and stuff. Now we got to find out where it came from and the struggles of the people who brought it to us. We have to be really smart and learn about the struggles of foundational Black Americans, because it was the reason why we had Polynesian panthers. The reason why we had Polynesian panthers, because the Polynesians back then was already looking at Black Americans as gods, because this is what they were to us, and they still are like that to us now. If you see a Black American come from overseas and come here, we're going to worship them. The reason why we worship them is because the things that they bring makes our spirit grow. Is not no question. We don't have to read a book. We don't have to figure out no mathematical equation, because when it touches our hearts, it makes us feel something inside, and it cannot be explained. And this is why when they bring it to us, we're going to feel it. We're going to love it. We're going to cherish it, and we're going to share it. The reason is because this is what they do. This is what foundational Black Americans do. They create things from scratch, from nothing. They share it, and the whole world absorbs it, and then they steal it. And then they try to kill it, and then they try to claim it as they own. Do you feel me? They take it, they try to claim it as they own. Just to be honest, I wasn't looking for anybody else back in the days that was musically inclined besides Black people. Just to be real. How can you take that away from us? We saw that with our own eyes. You can't tell us that someone else created it. There's no fear. That doesn't make sense, because they say, well, man, we created 50-50 hip-hop with foundational Black Americans, 50-50. But to be honest, we wasn't looking for you. We weren't looking for you. We were looking for them. So we need to see the history from what they say. You're trying to tell us you created hip-hop, you try to create R&B, because you definitely didn't create R&B. Casey and JoJo, Mary J. Blige, Smokey Robinson, Motown. You created that 50-50? Ah, you didn't. That's a motherfucking lie. We got to give props where props is due. They created it. We got to give it to them. We got to hold them up to the light and shine them up to the light, because they deserve it. You know, if I created hip hop, if I created R&B, hold me up to the light. But the truth is, you didn't create it, because hip hop didn't create off this. Hip hop came after the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, 70s, 80s, where hip hop was. You didn't create that. You didn't. Why are you trying to steal it? A musical art form cannot be created off of one day. That musical art form, unless you're them, because they created that musical art form of hip hop 1910s. It might have been early 1820s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 1910s. You had to have that whole timeline to create hip hop. You gotta just jump on hip hop and make hip hop. Who the fuck is you, man? You had to have that whole lineage of line to be able to create that music. You cannot just create music out of your ass. That line of music has to be created. You have to have oppression, 10, 20, 30, oppression, then, hip hop. You can't just come out the fucking ass and just say, oh, I created hip hop. Nah, fuck that. You didn't create that shit, so why are you trying to claim that shit? But I can see why you're trying to claim that shit. Or if I was a fake ass Polynesian, I would say, man, we created that shit. We created it. Back in the seas. Back in the ancient seas. Nah. You gotta have Motown. You gotta have Bow Bev DeVoe, Mary J. Blige, Chris Brown, Bobby Brown. You gotta have all Smokey Robinson. There was a song in that 1940s. Brother looked like Little Baby. 100 years ago. Just about. How are you gonna jump in this motherfucking what is it, 2023? 2020? You gonna say he created that? 50-50? Man, nah. Doesn't make sense. Hang on, let me plug this in. I need to expand on it. Man, I just need to hook up that shit right now. I need to hook that up and recharge that. Cause I got some shit to say. You can't just steal shit. Everyone's saying 50-50 on hip hop. Man, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. You can't create hip hop. How you gonna create hip hop? Where were you? I need to see you at least 100 years before so you can make hip hop. Because hip hop is, it's like that. It ain't just jump into hip hop and 50-50. I created hip hop. Man, that ain't shit. That ain't true, too. So we have to appreciate where it came from. If it came from foundational Black Americans, if it came from ADOS, DOAS, I'm just saying that I can't really fuck with Yvette Carnell and Tony Talks because they shields for the Democratic Party. I'm just gonna be real. And when you look at the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, man, this shit was started from blacks, man. It was started from them. Why not give them the credit? Why you always trying to jump in and steal shit? You can't always steal shit. You gotta be there from the beginning. If you're not from the beginning, then just pay homage to it like us Polynesians, man. This is what we give love to them. Because they did it. You need to appreciate them for it and celebrate them for it. Not steal that shit. Steal it and take it and say you're gonna be 50-50 creators with them? Nah, I didn't see you there. I didn't see you there. So you weren't there and you weren't there at the beginning. So I'm not going to pay homage to you. I'm only going to pay homage to the black people that created it. Because that's only true to who I am as a Polynesian. I'm looking back, all the people that was there before me said that they created it. So why are you going to jump in and try to be 50-50? Why not just give them their respect, give them their love, and pay homage? You don't disrespect one shit like that, man. I'll whip your ass. That's crazy. And it's disrespectful to them. They spent a lot of time because they went through the oppression that you didn't go through. So all I gotta say, maybe I'm drunk. Maybe I'm fucked up. But I am drunk, you know? But I'm just listening to the people that came before me. This is what they told me. And then when I was thinking about my history, I said, yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. The people that came before me were speaking the truth. The foundation of Black Americans, they created it. Get the fuck up out of here. I'm not gonna listen to you. You weren't there. We were looking for you. We were looking for blacks. Black Americans. You weren't there. You weren't there. We weren't looking for you. We were looking for them. Give them their motherfucking props, man. Get the fuck out the way before I slap you and beat the shit out of you. Just to be real. Peace.